Hello and welcome to the Daily Space for today. How is it already May 22nd, 2020? We have somehow made it all the way through to another Friday. Yes, folks, it is Friday. And it's not just any old regular Friday. This is the Friday leading into Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. Now, normally, any other year, I'd be either on my way. My teleprompter lost its mind. Sorry about that. Any other year, I would be on my way to a science fiction convention. But this year, I can't because plague times. Now, I can still participate in a science fiction convention this weekend, and I'm going to. The long-running Balticon convention has gone entirely virtual and is entirely free. I'll be tuning in to watch and even giving a couple of presentations. If you are looking for a way to spend your weekend, this may be your answer. Catch it all at balticon.org. Now, as winter turns to spring, turns to summer, a lot of podcasts are getting ready to take the summer off and start heading into hiatus around now. We aren't going to do that to you. We're here for the duration. Now, that said, we need to do some spring cleaning of our websites and our folders and our files. And next week, we will only be running a show on Monday as part of Balticon. We will be back. We will be back in a week with a lot of science to catch up on. Today's news isn't a lot, though, but it ends with something to look forward to. Our first story has us looking inward toward the center of the Milky Way galaxy. In 2017, the Atacama Large Millimeter Array stared toward our system's heart of darkness, Sag A star, a 4 million solar mass black hole. There they found a flicker of light hanging on in a mind-breaking orbit. Some small radio emitter has been found orbiting at just 0.2 astronomical units from Sag A star. This is half the size of Mercury's orbit. And it's not going around the sun, it's going around a supermassive black hole. According to team member Tomoharu Oka, this emission could be related to some exotic phenomena occurring at the very vicinity of a supermassive black hole. Whatever it is, the emitter is giving us yet one more test of relativity. As the light source orbits Sag A star, relativity says we should see the emission greatly amplified. When its motion, that of the emitter, is moving towards us, this process should amplify everything we see. It is this amplification they believe that they're catching in their imagery. This bit of emission probably isn't anything out of the norm. It is just newly noticed. It is perfectly normal for hotspots that emit radio like this to exist in disks of material like the disk around Sag A star. What makes this so cool is that we found it. This is one heck of a challenging observation and analysis, and my hat is off to the team behind this work. This rapidly orbiting object could actually be part of what is making the Event Horizon Telescope images so hard to process. As Oka goes on to remind us, reminding us actually of a problem we've all probably faced in our own photography. The faster the movement is, the more difficult it is to take a photo of. In this case, we have radio emissions flying across a radio image taken over many hours. I personally can only hope that careful analysis of the time series images will allow the streaks of emission to be carefully removed. Now, a lot of people think that astronomy is simply taking nice images, looking at them, and then getting good science. The reality is that a whole lot of work goes into processing images to figure out where the science is hiding. The ATLAS team, for instance, goes to all kinds of measures to find and study comets and asteroids in the images they take. To find things, they will take image after image of the same field, process them to get the sky levels identical despite, well, changing moonlight and other factors, and then subtract images one from another so the stars disappear like you see in the right-hand image here. And what's left behind are the moving objects that pop out to be seen. They will then go on to combine images so that stars appear as streaks, while moving objects appear as single points of light that can be more easily studied. That's the left image here. These processes are what found the recently self-destructed comet Atlas. It is also the process that found asteroid 2019 LD2. This is an object that refuses to behave as an asteroid should. Found out near Jupiter last June and classified as a Trojan asteroid, 2019 LD2 grew itself a tiny tail as volatile materials got heated by the sun and pushed away by the solar wind. This tail was confirmed in July, and its development was followed until geometry of the orbits took this active asteroid out of our field of view and hid it behind the sun. Now finally visible again, the team has once again confirmed that this is an asteroid with a tiny tail, and it has been active for roughly a year. While periodic activity has been observed in other objects, such as the rock-throwing asteroid Bennu, this long a period of activity hasn't been seen before. It's unclear exactly why LD2 is so active, but to quote the press release, maybe Jupiter captured it only recently from a more distant orbit where surface ice could still survive. Maybe it recently suffered a landslide or an impact from another asteroid, exposing ice that used to be buried under layers of protective rock. New observations to find out are being acquired and evaluated. The universe is full of surprises, and each new set of observations makes it clear that space is full of things our human minds can't come up with on their own. This need to see what is out there that we can't even imagine is part of why we robotically explore. And our team is really looking forward to one piece of robotic exploration that is scheduled for this fall. We are super pleased to share that the OSIRIS-Rex mission is now scheduled to collect materials from the surface of the asteroid Bennu on October 20th, and the material will be collected from the Nightingale site. When this happens, we will bring it to you live right here on twitch.tv/CosmoQuestX. But for now, this is all we have for today. So I'm now going to hang out and take your questions. But before I do that, I'm going to, remind you that this is the Daily Space. I'm your host, Dr. Pamela Gay, and I wrote today's episode, which will be engineered by Ali Pelfrey. Web content will be produced by Beth Johnson, and we are all supported through a myriad of volunteers. CosmoQuest is a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to you, your volunteer efforts, your cheerleading in the comments, your financial support through your bits, your subs, your patronage at patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. All of this comes together to encourage us, to support us, and to carry us as we create this content. And we are so grateful for everything that you do. Now, one of the things that we really want to do, and we can only do this with your help, is begin to pay benefits to our part-time staff. Right now, we have the resources we need to pay people a fair market wage for what they do. What we don't have is the ability to pay folks benefits, even though all of us are part-time. But we can do this with your help. And I'm not talking just dollars. I'm talking building our audience. The bigger the audience we have for the show, the more people there's going to be that can say, yeah, I can chip in $1. So can you all help out growing our audience, please? We just want to make sure everyone has health care in these plague times we live in. We all currently have it through our spouses, but it's kind of awkward to say that my whole female staff only has health insurance because one is a vet and all the rest of us have spouses. Help, please. Anyways, I'm done begging. I'm now going to answer your science questions. Okay. Thank you, Fenmill, for the bits. Let me pull up Dog Cam because I believe I still have a dog down here with me. I do. Look at the doggo. Look at the doggo. Doggo, your head. Look at the doggo. Do you want this? Do you want this? I have arm flap. This is what I just discovered. That was awkward. Hi. Okay. Follows are free. DPI 209. Definitely inflict science on your friends and enemies. Definitely inflict science on the brains of your friends and enemies. All right. Looking for things. So Hanny asks, could the Event Horizon Telescope find this? I assume that you're referring to the little tiny orbiting emitter. Yes, it is quite possible that if they look frame by frame at the images that they took, if they took short exposures, I think they might have simply done a continuous long exposure. If they did, and I don't know if they did short exposures that they're now combining with the Event Horizon Telescope, they would be able to see this. Unfortunately, this object orbits every 30 minutes, so they would have to be seriously short exposures that I can't imagine why they would have done that. Quite often with professional telescopes, it's no big deal to take a 10-minute, a 20-minute exposure. Sometimes you just sit on something for hours at a time and just chop it up however frequently you need to keep out the satellites and the cosmic rays. But to catch this object, you'd need to be taking minute-length exposures or less. So I don't quite know exactly what's going to be possible. And processing radio data is different from processing optical data. So they may have the ability to retcon things in ways that we can't do with optical telescopes. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Oh, let's see. Let's see what's going on. Oh, I'm so sorry that you didn't get an alert, Broken Symmetry. Yes, Astro-wise. So we had already planned back in January to take the week of Memorial Day off and the week of 4th of July off. Monday's kind of weird because we are actually doing the Daily Space live from Balticon, virtual Balticon. I'm not actually going to Baltimore. And so we're going to do a special episode for Balticon that is going to be both a normal episode and then a making of to show everyone just how the sausage is made around here. Now, last week was it last week? It may have been 2 weeks ago. Time is, well, it's Blues Day. It's Blues Day, people. We didn't produce a full show because we were bringing on new staff. So the bringing on new staff, the training of the new staff, the getting all the new staff up to all the new things, both across CosmoQuest and everything we're doing over at PSI. The two are one. It's just there's the things we do on cosmoquest.org and the things we do at psi.edu. So while we were doing all the things on our two different domains, we just didn't get all 5 shows out last week. I think it was last week. I no longer know. Next week is a planned downtime. So things that I'm planning to work on. Jillian has been doing these amazing bumpers to run before episodes. They need to be produced into videos. Community Coffee needs some love to get it posted and archived and figure out how to do that well. It's all these background tasks that just are currently like, we need to take care of that. So next week is the week that we figure out how to, clean house and get everything up and a little bit better for everyone. Sometimes you just have to step back and say, okay, it's time to reorganize this because I've now bought too many books and they no longer fit on the bookshelves. What do I do? Well, next week's the week we figure that out, because while we don't have a book problem, we do have a, content problem, and it's a great problem to have. We just need to build a few more digital bookcases, which is something I've been doing in Animal Crossings. Are you playing Animal Crossings? This seems to be how we get through Blur's days. All right, going back to the chat. It's Friday. My brain may have already left for the day. There will be an astronomy cast in a few hours, however, and today we are going to be talking about extreme binaries. Mythtown, you're amazing. And why do I have no audio? I think I muted my audio. Okay, now I should be able to hear things. Come on. Mythtown, you are awesome. There. All the things. There's also a squirrel. I just totally binged poor Malachi. There's a squirrel down over there. I need to go pick up the squirrel. Thank you, Mythtown. You are an amazing human. Yay. Thank you. You use all those rockets. So Henny asks, that object must be precessing because of space-time drag, right? Sort of like Mercury. I'm not sure I'd say space-time drag, but yeah, it's probably precessing due to, words are hard, due to relativistic effects. I haven't dug all the way into the paper yet, and so I don't have that, but everything it did behaved exactly as relativity suggested it would. DPI is like, yay for the sausages. Now I'm hungry. We rebuilt our existing fire pit to make it easy to cook sausages on. So there will be, if the sunlight I currently see stays there will be fire and potentially sausages later today. I need to look at the weather. So Henny asks, do people dress like MD historical figures at Balticon? MD. I don't know what you mean by MD. Maryland historical figures? Is that what you mean? So normally at Balticon, we cosplay as science fiction fantasy things. I have a Jedi Master Leia costume, and I have an Inara from Firefly costume, and I have an entire top half of a closet dedicated to costumes. I have one that is just outer space. It is a giant tulle skirt embedded with lights, and then it has a top that is nebulae. And then I put lights in my hair. So yes, cosplaying. It is an amazing thing. We need more cosplay in this world. All right. Mythtown, yes, the book problem is a good problem to have. I'm looking for a good book recommendation. Something that I shouldn't listen to, but actually need to sit and read. If you have a recommendation, please let me know. There will be no binaries ablaze today, except maybe to get her wedding gift, because I have one of those for her. It's early. She hasn't actually gotten married, but I can't wait to give it to her. Anyways, there was more goodness, and the dog heard the goodness. He did. Do you want this? Look at that smile. There you go. He doesn't steal souls, but he'll smile at you. All right. Hello, Autumn's Rain. Thank you for subbing with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, Autumn's Rain. Oh, Mythtown, you could cosplay so many other things. If you were feeling kind of morbid in that direction, there's Baron Harkonnen. There are others you could do. The Penguin, lots and lots. Malachi did hear the ding. It is true. Malachi has amazing eyes, one blue, one brown. We have a complete set among the dogs. Eddie has 2 brown eyes, Stella has 2 blue eyes, and thus they go and go. Yeah, Wayne, I lived that book. I'm not going to read it. Yeah, so what got omitted from that book is I was the co-founder of Zooniverse and brought in half the funding necessary to establish it. But that's a different story. All right. Yeah, Malachi is a good boy. All right. So I think that's all we've got. I also now have a leaf blower directly outside the window. So I'm going to record this podcast as soon as the leaf blower goes away. Leaf blower. And I will see you all on Monday for our live from Balticon virtual episode of the Daily Space. But for now, who would you like me to raid? Things have been so quiet in the science community lately. Let's see what is out there. Raid. Oh, Bother is live. So is One Rocket Guy doing Kerbal. Do you have a preference? Or I guess it's 1-2 Ocket and it looks like Rocket Guy. So would you rather Rocket Guy or Oh Bother? Or EJ, that's also a thing. Suzanne Null. Yeah, I need to read that. So Larry, that would actually be a really good book on audio. So I may get that one in audio so that I can listen to it while I'm gardening. I'm going to go with Oh Bother, I guess. Let's go with Oh Bother. All right. So as a reminder, we are the Daily Space. Today's episode was hosted by me, Dr. Pamela Gay, with guest host Malachi. Today's episode will be engineered by Ali Pilfrey. The web content will be posted by, or produced rather, by Beth Johnson. We are a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to the generous contributions and volunteer efforts of people like you. Get involved in everything we do by visiting cosmoquest.org. So, thank you. And wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous morning, evening, or afternoon. Wear a mask if you go outside. Stay in if you can. And wash your hands. We'll get through this together. Bye-bye, everyone.